Isn't what restful?" glowered the senior surgeon. "Sitting down," said the white linen nurse. Contemptuously, the senior surgeon's mind ignored the interruption and reverted precipitately to its own immediate problem, concerning the gloomy black walnut shadowed entrance hall of his great house, and how many yards of imported linoleum at $3.45 a yard it would take to recarpet the damned hole, and how it would have seemed anyway if he hadn't gone home, as usual, to the horrid black walnut shadows that night, but been carried home instead, feet first, and quite dead. Dead, mind you, with a red necktie on, and even the cook was out, and they wouldn't even know where to lay him, but might put him by mistake in his dead wife's dead bed. Altogether unconsciously, a little fluttering sigh of ineffable contentment escaped the white linen nurse. "I don't care how long we have to sit here and wait for help," she announced cheerfully, "because tomorrow, of course, I'll have to get up and begin all over again and go to Nova Scotia." "Go where?" lurched the senior surgeon. "I thank you kindly, sir, not to jerk my skirt quite so hard," said the white linen nurse just a trifle stiffly. Incredulously once more the senior surgeon withdrew his detaining hand. "I'm not even touching your skirt," he denied desperately. Nothing but denial and reiterated denial seemed to ease his self-esteem for an instant. "Why, for heaven's sake, should I want to hold on to your skirt?" he demanded peremptorily. "What the deuce—" he began blusteringly. "Why, in—" Then abruptly he stopped and shot an odd puzzled glance at the white linen nurse, and right there before her startled eyes she saw every vestige of human expression fade out of his face, as it faded out sometimes in the operating room when in the midst of some ghastly, unforeseen emergency that left all his assistants blinking helplessly around them, his whole wonderful scientific mind seemed to break up like some chemical compound into all its meek component parts, only to reorganize itself suddenly with some amazing explosive action that fairly knocked the breath out of all onlookers, but was pretty apt to knock the breath into the body of the person most concerned. When the senior surgeon's scientific mind had reorganized itself to meet this emergency, he found himself infinitely more surprised at the particular type of explosion that had taken place than any other person could possibly have been. "Miss McGregor," he gasped, "speaking of preferring domestic service, as you call it, speaking of preferring domestic service to nursing, how would you like to consider a position well, call it a position of general heart work for a family of two, myself and the little girl here being the two, as you understand," he added briskly. "Why, I think it would be grand," beamed the white linen nurse. A trifle mockingly the senior surgeon bowed his appreciation. "Your frank and immediate enthusiasm," he murmured, "is more, perhaps, than I had dared to expect." "But it would be grand," said the white linen nurse. Before the odd little smile in the senior surgeon's eyes, her white forehead puckered all up with perplexity. Then, with her mind still thoroughly unawakened, her heart began suddenly to pitch and lurch like a frightened horse, whose rider has not even remotely sensed as yet the approach of an unwonted footfall. "What did you say?" she repeated worriedly. "Just exactly what was it that you said? I guess, maybe, I didn't understand just exactly what it was that you said." The smile in the senior surgeon's eyes deepened a little. "I asked you," he said, "how you would like to consider a position of general heart work in a family of two, myself and the little girl here being the two. Heart work was what I said. Yes, heart work, not housework." "Heart work?" faltered the white linen nurse. "Heart work? I don't know what you mean, sir." Like two falling rose petals, her eyelids fluttered down across her affrighted eyes. "Oh, when I shut my eyes, sir, and just hear your voice, I know, of course, sir, that it's some sort of a joke. But when I look right at you, I don't know what it is." "Open your eyes, and keep them open, then, until you do find out," suggested the senior surgeon bluntly. Defiantly once again the blue eyes and the gray eyes challenged each other. "Hard work was what I said," persisted the senior surgeon. Palpably his narrowing eyes shut out all meaning but one definite one. The white linen nurse's face went almost as blanched as her dress. You're not asking me to marry you, sir?" she stammered. "I suppose I am," acknowledged the senior surgeon. "Not marry you?" cried the white linen nurse. Distress was in her voice, distaste, unmitigable shock, as though the high gods themselves had fallen at her feet and splintered off into mere candy fragments. "Oh, not marry you, sir!" she kept right on protesting. "Not be engaged, you mean? Oh, not be engaged in everything!" "Well, why not?" snapped the senior surgeon. Like a smitten flower, the girl's whole body seemed to wilt down into incalculable weariness. "Oh, no, no, I couldn't!" she protested. "Oh, no, really!" Appealingly she lifted her great blue eyes to his, and the blueness was all blurred with tears. I've been engaged once, you know," she explained falteringly. "Why, I was engaged, sir, almost as soon as I was born, and I stayed engaged till 2 years ago. That's almost 20 years. That's a long time, sir. You don't get over it easy." Very, very gravely she began to shake her head. "Oh, no, sir. No, thank you very much, but I just simply can't begin at the beginning and go all through it again. I haven't got the heart for it. I haven't got the spirit. Carving your initials on trees and gadding around to all the Sunday school picnics?" Brutally, like a boy, the senior surgeon threw back his head in one wild hoot of joy. Infinitely more cautiously, as the agonizing pang in his shoulder lulled down again, he proceeded to argue the matter, but the grin in his face was even yet faintly traceable. "Frankly, Miss McGregor," he affirmed, "I'm infinitely more addicted to carving people than to carving trees. And as to Sunday school picnics, well, really now, I hardly believe that you'd find my demands in that direction excessive." Perplexedly, the white linen nurse tried to stare her way through his bantering smile to his real meaning. Furiously, as she stared, the red blood came flushing back into her face. "You don't mean for a second that you love me?" she asked, incredulously. "No, I don't suppose I do," acknowledged the senior surgeon with equal bluntness. "But my little Kitty here loves you," he hastened somewhat nervously to affirm. "Oh, I'm almost sure that my little Kitty here loves you. She needs you anyway. Let it go at that. Call it that we both need you." "What you mean is," corrected the white linen nurse, "that needing somebody very badly, you've just suddenly decided that that somebody might as well be me?" "Well, if you choose to put it like that," said the senior surgeon a bit sulkily. "And if there hadn't been an auto accident?" argued the white linen nurse, just out of sheer inquisitiveness. "If there hadn't been just this particular kind of an auto accident, at this particular hour, of this particular day, of this particular month, with marigolds and everything, you probably never would have realized that you did need anybody?" "Maybe not," admitted the senior surgeon. "Hm," said the white linen nurse. "And if you'd happened to take one of the other girls today instead of me, why then I suppose you'd have felt that she was the one you really needed. And if you'd taken the superintendent of nurses instead of any of us girls, you might even have felt that she was the one you most needed." With surprising agility for a man with a sprained back, the senior surgeon wrenched himself around until he faced her quite squarely. "Now see here, Miss Malgregor," he growled, "for heaven's sake listen to sense, even if